Hello YouTube, and how are you all doing today? I hope you are having a fabulous day. And if you're not having a fabulous day, then what the hell is wrong with you? Did a puppy die? Did one of your children die? That might be really insensitive. I don't care though. So, I want to talk about using tarot cards and magic. How do you use tarot cards and magic? Well, you can obviously read your own, like, you know, read your cards, read your whatever. That's one way. Divination. In past videos, I said that, you know, I don't believe in the Ouija board, and I still don't, but that I would use tarot cards to speak with the dead. That did not go over very well. I was getting a lot of mixed messages. It was like, wait, are you telling me someone's gonna die? Oh wait, no, you're dead. So, you know, but here's how I personally use tarot cards and magic. And there's very few instances where I need it, where I'll use it. The first example, and I gave this in my last video, was the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Wands. If you ever are doing any kind of spell work to speed things up, if you hear anything, my cats are playing, accept it. But if you ever need to speed anything up, let's say you're waiting for financing on a house or a car, like I was at one point, on my car. These two cards used in your spell will help speed that process up, because the Knight of Swords is somebody who charges in, and the Nine of Wands is a very powerful card that represents the fire element. And, you know, have you ever burned a piece of paper? The fucking thing is up in flames. The wands also represent... What the hell do they represent? I was gonna say they represent creativity, but I think that's the cups. No, that is the cups. I always have issues with the suits, okay? So, like, I know that the swords are, like, the mind, the pentacles are the money, the cups are creativity and love and stuff like that, and communion, and the wands. I think the wands are about getting shit done. I'm pretty sure they're about getting shit done. They always have this emphasis of getting shit done. So, you know, we'll go with that for now, because that makes more sense to me. So with the Nine of Wands, like, you know, you're putting a lot of... They're also about putting energy into things, because fire is energy. So you're putting a lot of energy into this, and you want a lot of energy to be put into this. So, like, let's say you're trying to get your financing on your car. Well, the Knight of Swords tells everybody to fucking hurry up, and the Nine of Wands will be like, okay, you need to put a lot of energy into this, you need to get shit done, and you need to get it done now. And I can tell you right now that worked for me, because A, I'm a very impatient person. I do not like waiting for things. And B, when the bank had phoned me and said, you know, oh, we need 5 references, and it's probably going to take a couple of weeks before we get back to you, because we got to call all of them and verify all this information, blah, 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 blah. I did the spell, and within 24 hours, they were like, you can come get your car. So... depending on the spell you're trying to do, if you're trying to do, like, release work, you might use the Death card and the Magician. So you'd put the Death card above the Magician, and basically what that means is that you're releasing something, you're letting go of something, you're saying goodbye to something. And then as the Magician is, he's got like, I think it's an athame pointed up, or he's got some sort of magical tool pointed up. And he's absorbing all that energy. Because when you release, it's sort of like that whole concept of energy can be created, but it cannot be destroyed. It can only be reused. And so basically what's happening is you are reusing, you're recycling, you're receiving that energy from whatever it is that you're releasing. You could use the Lovers, and there's a few cup cards. I can't remember which they are. I don't have my deck of tarot cards on me. But you could use, there's a couple. I think there's the 3. It's the one where they've all got the cups up together, and then there's the other one, it's the Two of Cups as well. So if you're trying to build, like, if you're coming into like a new community and you're trying to build friendships with people, and you're wanting to put that kind of energy out there, I think it's the Three of Cups. It's the one where they've all got their cups raised up, and I believe that's the Three of Cups. You could use that one to help build friendships. If you're using a honey jar spell, underneath your jar spell, you would want to put the Lover's card, and you'd also want to put the Two of Cups, because the Two of Cups is all about, sharing, communion, marriage, so on and so forth. And the Lover's card, you could use that if you're trying to decide between two different guys or girls or whatever you're into. Maybe it's puppies, I don't know. But you could, use the Two of Cups to decide between, or the Lover's card, not the Two of Cups. The Lover's card to decide between. If you're trying to do if let's say you're a smoker, or you're a crackhead, or you're a meth addict, and you're trying to break that habit, and you want to use magic to do that, you could use the Devil card, because the Devil card represents being chained to something, whether it's materialism, drug addiction, alcoholism, depression, whatever. It just symbolizes that you're chained to something and you don't know how to let go. You could use that card. That would help in the process of letting go. You'd want to use it in conjunction with the Death card and the Magician card, because you're chained to something but you're wanting to let go, and now you're also going to reabsorb all that energy, because you could at least use it for something else. Something more positive. If you feel your world is crumbling around you and you don't know how to pick yourself back up, I would use the Tower card in conjunction with the Death card and the Magician card. If you feel that you are blind to something and you want to be awakened to it, I would use, what is it? The Two of Swords, and I think it's the Seven of Swords. There's the Two of Swords where she's holding the swords and she's got the bandana over her eyes. All she has to do is let go of the swords and take the bandana off. And then I think it's the Seven, or it might be higher, but it's one of the swords where she is surrounded by swords and she's tied up and she's got a bandana, but nothing's, all she has to do is quick, move her arms and she can get the ropes off and she can take the thing off her head or her eyes, but she's blind and she's bound. If you feel stuck, I would use those two cards, again in conjunction with the Death card and the Magician, because you're blind to something, but using the magic, you will be able to see whatever it is you're blind to and be able to get out of whatever it is you're in. And then because you're letting go and releasing, and the Magician, you'll want to reabsorb that energy. With that particular type of spell work, I would use Eyebright, the herb, because Eyebright, or Mugwort, or Wormwood, although Mugwort would be better. It'd be Mugwort or Eyebright, or a mixture of both. Both will help you to open up your eyes and see. I use Eyebright in a special flammable liquid. I use rubbing alcohol, but I mix in some Eyebright if I need to communicate with the spirits to see something that I'm blind to. Okay. So I hope that gives you some ideas on how you can use tarot cards in magic and in spellcasting and in rituals. Don't be afraid to buy a deck of cards, like a cheap deck of cards that you can dispose of or vandalize, if you will. For example, let's say you're dealing with, let's say you're blind to something, okay? So you've got the Two of Swords. You're blind to something and you don't know how to get out of that situation. You could take that card and you could burn it. And this is why I say buy a deck of cards that, means nothing to you, that is cheap and that you could dispose of. You could burn it, and you could also burn a petition. You'd place the Death card under the cauldron or whatever you're placing the burning ashes into, or the burning card into. The Death card will absorb that energy, and then you place the Magician underneath the Death card so that you reabsorb it. Okay, so there's an idea. I have a golden set of tarot cards. They're not like actual gold, but they've got gold borders on them. Like, it's fake gold, obviously. It's just a color. And I use those in spell work. Now, they've had oil dripped on them. They've had ashes on them. They're not burned or anything. But they've seen, some of the cards have seen their time. I have another set of cards that I use personally just for readings. And I have a deck that I've had since I was 18 that's put away, that's used for special types of readings. I have a lot of energy poured into that one. I have a few decks, and I use them all. I don't use them all the time. I'm not always doing a reading, which is something I should work on. Okay. So I hope that this gives you some ideas, some ways of using tarot cards in your spellcraft. And as always, remember to like and subscribe to this video because, you know, I need to grow my subscriptions. And also, you know, PayPal, Patreon in the description, choose one or the other or both, it doesn't matter. PayPal allows you to donate whatever you want. Patreon has set amounts that I've set up. All of the money that you donate goes directly back into the Witchy Show. None of it goes into my pockets. It's used for things like the cooking edition, arts and crafts, so on and so forth. I've been getting lots of donations throughout December. It's April for you guys, whatever. Been getting lots of donations, and that's why we're able to do things like the cooking edition and so on and so forth. Okay? So until next time, my fabulous little creatures, I will see y'all later.